Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the WD BLACK Esports Club Pro League 4 Rainbow Six Siege, supported by Ubisoft and our broadcast partner Booyah. I'm your host Blackjack, along with your co-host Baba Gusta, and of course our admin Eisen, as we are here for witnessing Division 2 finish off its second week with Day 4 going live on the screens for the final season of the Pro League. Had a bit of a hitch in my throat right there. Not sure why, but, you know, small issues like that aside, we'll be going live with the game ESM Elite taking on Akira Esports on the map of a Clubhouse. This is going to be a very interesting one. Akira Esports are on the defense as well. ESM Elite, they will be attacking. Let us join the players in the middle of the ban phase right now, in fact, as the first ban on the map is from the side of Kira Esports. We're looking to make this match their own. Same with ESM Elite, no surprises right there with the Hibana ban to start us off. Kira Esports knows what they need to ban Hibana. Very versatile hard breacher for hatches, for walls, for lines of sight. Very useful ever since, of course, she got the ability to change how many pellets she shoots out in any given situation. Pretty useful for baiting out impact tricks as well, as it's much harder to hit 2 Excaris pellets than 4. I'm pretty sure everybody will be able to tell you that much. Thatcher will be the ban from the side of ESM Elite. No surprises right there. Hibana and Thatcher. I believe we all know that a potential Kaid ban could follow, but there's a reason Kaid might not be banned either, and we'll get to that when we see the ban itself. And as it turns out, the ban coming in from the side of ESM Elite is actually Valkyrie. So information denial for the side of Kira Esports, no surprises right there, with the meta ban to finish us off. Very standard, these final two. Now, why is there no Kaid ban? I think some of us are probably wanting me to follow up on that, statement. It's primarily because Maverick can still take care of the hatches that are otherwise electroclawed, right? So you don't need to ban Kaid if you can just simply play around him with the Maverick in play. Simple stuff, right? Regardless, ban phase taken care of. The first round will be underway on second one CCTV and Cash Room. But before that goes underway, let us have a look at both the rosters that are here in the lobby for us today. From the side of ESM, we've got Paktoon, Kid, Hamza, Dhanu, Mike, and Vinci. And from the side of Kid Esports, we've got Rat, Shinra, Thurv, Deathamer, and Envy, who has joined this roster from the looks of it. And with that, the first round will be underway with a couple of 6 picks coming into the mute and the Twitch into... Come on, Mike. Any second now? Nope, I guess he's just going to stay on the Twitch. I've kept the man from the mic long enough. Baba Gusta, how do you feel on this fine evening? And how do you feel about this match that we've got on hand?
I'm doing great, Jack. And to answer the second question, I believe Kira Esports is prepped and ready. So does ESM Elite, though. Talking about the previous match we did get to witness, we did get to see Jetter Vyuha win against E-Samurai Elite on map Cafe 7-5. And then Kira Esports winning against Status Gaming in map Theme Park, in which we did get to see overtime 8-6. Talking about their leaderboards, Kira Esports currently in the 3rd position, having a total of 9 points in their hand. And, talking about ESM Elite, they still need to make sure that they would get those points as best as possible. Currently having a total of 6 points, winning 2 matches and losing 1. If they do win this, at a very high run conversion rate, ESM Elite can be able to take out Kira Esports instantly. But talking about it, Kira Esports, there is a higher chance that this might go for a overtime. So we're about to see when the action phase come into play, and we'll be able to see their operators, especially the attackers, who are slowly making their way using drones to give them information. And also we have Amar and Shinra holding in towards logistics and bedroom. Now we just need to keep that in mind, that on the side of Kira Esports, we won't be able to see Rattler, but instead we'll be able to see them bring Envy instead. Most of the time we did get to see Rattler making some extraordinary plays. Also, we still have to keep our eyes on Rats and also Envy, is to see what kind of coordination plays that we're going to see in this team. The same thing can be said to ESM Elite, though, but the first kill was about to come in, though, with the R4C, the Ash, who is trying to deal some major damage to the mute. But for now, he's just going to fall back right in towards the main stairs and try to contest against the players from that specific spot. The garage wall will be opened, in which Rats, I believe, he's currently in towards the garage. He's just a bit worried and also a bit cautious, knowing that he needs to worry about a total of three angles, one which is in towards garage and the second in towards blue. Now he either needs to take at least one or two frags so that he doesn't have to worry about these multiple angles converging into his location. Drones will be destroyed, but it will compromise his location. But for now, talking about ESM Elite, though, they are going very slow and steady. And now, talking about the frag, it's going to be two kills. It's going to be Amar and Rats taking out Vinci and Cocoon Kid. There goes your hard breacher, and looks like yet another player is going to go down, but it's going to be Rats taken care of in the hands of Mike. Although Hamza will be down, he'll be able to get back up. Total of 10 HP. Atarf sees one, but misses the opportunity. But you do have Envy to take out Mike, and with it, it will be a 2v4 situation. The revive will come in, and so does Envy, very eager enough to go for that run out, in which he will tries to go for the shot, but unfortunately doesn't have any information as of now. So Sakira Esports want to go aggressive here. Tanu has the information, but doesn't get the shot quite yet. Talking about the time itself, though, 24 seconds is going to be Almer taking out Hamza, and with it, Dhanu will be the last player standing. Unfortunately enough, the MP5 won't get in the hands of the Ashes R4C as she tries to get three more players. But it's going to be Shinra in the end to end Danu. Kira Esports, the beautiful round winning second floor CCTV hold. And with it, we'll be able to see Kira Esports winning their first round of defense on map Clubhouse against ESM Elite. As we proceed to round two, the site for Kira Esports to be defending will be on second floor gym and bedroom, not on basement church. I mean, you do know the reason why they're not picking basement and church is mainly because they banned the Hibana. Obviously, banning Hibana would be much of a problem, but still, talking about Kira Esports, they will head on to this site, and let's see what's going to happen here with ESM Elite if they do try to win the site.
It's going to take quite a bit of doing from the side of ESM, that is for sure. As we have this the sixth pick going out into the Twitch, I believe, from Dhanu right there. Yep, the F2, but more importantly, the shock drone coming into play. Speaking of drones, any of our viewers in chat who have seen the new operator Flores, the reveal was yesterday, of course, the little short video with this explosive drone that is quite literally a permission to go kaboom inside a site. Oh boy, it's going to be quite the interesting drone. I'm sure all of our Mozzie mains are licking their lips quite happily right now as well. Although I'm not sure if Mozzie can take control of a drone that big. Who knows? Maybe his pest isn't being given enough credit in this speculation. We'll find out, of course, on Sunday night. I believe at 10:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time is when that live stream from the Ubisoft end goes live, which will actually be a really interesting one indeed. Year 6, we don't know what it's going to be shaping up into, but I hope it's going to be a fantastic one indeed. But again, year 6 is a long ways away. There's going to be a whole bunch of test server stuff happening, and before that, of course, we've got the league still ongoing, and we've got this match in the league that is currently ongoing as well. ESM, not really having a good first round right there. Trying a lot of different things, actually. They try to go into the main breach, they try to go into a garage. At nearly every angle they attempted to emphasize on, Kira Esports was there, ready to counter, and more importantly, take heads as and when required. Even though there was a bit of fight back from ESM, it wasn't enough. Shinra, oh boy, couldn't get away from that drone in time. Hamza, of course, has no idea that there's a down right there. Shinra could actually get away, if only for that little bit of debris that is present in Secret Stash. He will be revived nice and quickly. No problems, unless, of course, the 20 HP is going to be considered one, as Tanu pushes into bathroom. Will he see one? Yes, he does. The Jaeger goes down. Deathamer, unaware of the Twitch's position right next to him, will be taken down nice and quickly. Now, Envy, main wall, blown up right in front of him. He's holding from bathroom, of course, so he needs to be very careful of how he proceeds in this defensive dilemma that the side of Kira seemed to have, sort of, Of course, Shinra's low on HP, and you have already a death on Death Armor, ironically enough. And that's not going to look too good for them, but they are holding for the time being. Rene's going out, and that's going to be from Mike, a beautiful one, onto Envy. That's your Melusi taken care of, and at the minute 15 mark, those are huge drops to have. Shinra could be next up on the chopping block, but time is something that ESM wants to make good on, and they are doing it so far.
With Shinra still being alive, even with the grenade, he's not going to be alive for now. Danu gets a double kill as he proceeds to push in towards the side. Doesn't see the smoke, whereas Atharv makes his last stand. Needs to find 3 more players. He will be able to down 1. Can he get the second down? Yes, he does. And with it, Vinci, oh boy, not looking too good here. The smoke gas canisters will take so much damage to Vinci, but he will still survive here. 5 HP, the shotgun comes in. Will he get the shot? No, it does not! ASM Elite will win that round in such a close round. And the shotgun missing its line of sight will give the win
You
to
hate
ASM
to see
Elite.
it. You hate to see it like that too. Ooh, that hurt. You could feel it. As soon as that first shotgun miss happened, you could feel it. That hurts, man. That hurts.
Man, that 1v3, man. The SMG-11 not only just downing one of the players, but also eliminating one more, just one single magazine. All he had to do was to just have one single pellet into the body of Sophia. But unfortunately, all of the pellets were at the wrong direction. Looks like ESM Elite will be able to win that very close round. Talking about the next site, it will be the same site again. Second floor gym and bedroom. And talking about it, Kira Esports will be very cautious about the way how pushes and what kind of early picks that ASM Elite did. So maybe you might be able to see some cautious plays, especially the Maestro, in which I believe that was Dathomar who was playing as the Maestro at that time. It's not going to be in logistics as of now. He'll just be in a different direction, or maybe just place in ADS to make sure that the grenade would not happen. Talking about another pick here, Shinra, bringing in the Pulse's cardiac sensor to give them viable information. You'll be able to give some useful information just by staying in the first floor itself. We might be able to see a C4 play coming in, although we won't be able to see the M5 shotgun in the hands of Pulse. We will see the UMP being brought up here. And also, Shinra is already prepping up with his run out in towards the blue stairs window. Now the attackers, with them already spawned in, they will go for those drone wars to see whether if there is any roamers. And talking about Death Armor though, he just immediately shifted his role from an anchor to a roamer. Currently, he is holding on towards stock. The Pulse gets a bit spotted from the attacker's drone itself, and Hamza wouldn't save his teammates around here at all. Death Armor taking out Vinci will be able to save Shinra, but he needs to be careful here. He needs to know that there is at least one more attacker still holding in towards kitchen, and that is Hamza. Unless and until if Shinra doesn't give them the information, as Hamza gets one, can he get the second? No, it does not. He will still survive. He will whip off the SMG-11, but he will run away to safety. And Hamza is still trying to catch him. Unfortunately, it is too late. The barbed wire will give away his positioning and also slows his movement speed. So it's best to try to make sure that they would try to open up the walls, try to get inside the site as best as possible. Now, talking about Hamza though, he will relocate back in towards second floor gym, maybe try to open up the wall in towards Jacuzzi and make their play. So let's see what's going to happen as we proceed to the minute and 30 seconds mark.
Not a whole lot of time remaining, but those first 2 bodies being taken are definitely going to be good for both sides. Vinci down, that means tons of soft breach, tons of utility denial potential has been taken away from the side of ESM Elite. On the other side, Shinra, of course, the cardiac scanner of the Pulse, always good for info and intel, and even taking kills and denying the plant should that come to be a situation where the Pulse is alive and a C4 is in play from down below. Even then, he doesn't necessarily need a C4, but it always makes things a whole lot easier to execute on. So good kills initially being taken, but now that we're at the 45-second mark, things need to be expedited from the side of ESM Elite. It won't be though, as the third will take the first one. Here we go, SMG-11 in hand. He's gonna try and do this all over again. Tried it in the last round, couldn't quite get through. As in the meanwhile, you have the Melusi Envy holding that logistics hatch. Interesting decision to hold it from right there, as Deathamer is just waiting in the wings for somebody to come into the hallway, and we will find Hamza. That's your drop taken, and there's Tanu gone, as in he's down, and here is Deathamer. Missing the first few shots, will come around the gym equipment and take down the thermite nice and quickly. No issues whatsoever. As we will see in the instant replay, another round goes the way of Kid Esports. This is the way they wanted the last round to go. They couldn't quite get it off, if you will, as we all saw. They kind of collapsed, and even the attempted ace clutch, which came so close from the smoke, just unfortunately collapsed right at the end when it needed to hit that final shot. Vinci got away with that one, and with him down already, ESM weren't exactly looking too good. Kid Esports took advantage of that situation and made the round their own. Now they're going back to second for CCTV when cash from the site has been unlocked for them one more time. They can come back here. They enjoyed a fairly comfortable win back in round one in CCTV, so they'll try to do it again and then go into Basement Church and Arsenal. Now, if anybody's wondering why we haven't seen Basement Church and Arsenal so far from the side of Kira, primarily I think it's just the fact that they know that the Maverick is still in play, right? The bans were Hibana and Thatcher from the side of the attack. And given the fact that I believe they've brought the Kaid out to play once before, and it didn't really work because there's a Maverick in play, right? They obviously, ESM will bring in the Maverick. They need the hard reach done. The same sort of thought process applies to down below, where the hatches can be taken care of irrespective of electrical interference being run. So with the hatches open, that makes those sites just a little bit more vulnerable, depending on how ESM emphasizes on the newly opened sites thanks to Maverick, right? So that it's primarily because of that, I believe, Kira Esports is holding off from going on Basement Church until they have a solid lead, and maybe one round loss won't hurt them too much because they can go back to one of the other sites that they won. I think that's primarily the thinking here, and that was, I guess, the thinking behind the Hibana ban as well. Again, Hibana just right now is a very versatile and very powerful hard breacher, just in general. Like, there is no question about that. So definitely Hibana bans are quite smart, especially for maps like Clubhouse. But I will say the use of reinforcements, leaving that construction wall open might not be a good idea. Hamza, he's already emphasized on that wall, nice and quickly getting that open. That's a rotate into construction, a free rotate into construction actually, for the attackers that they can use at any given point in time. Sure, Kira could run interference there, and definitely with the way Invi's playing around that construction cache door, it seems like they will. The question is, how successful will it be now that a logistics drop has come in as well? There's plenty of areas that ESM Elite are trying to emphasize on. Once again, they did this the last time they came to CC. They're trying to do it again. The real question is, are they going to be successful this time, or will Kira take another round?
That is the question that we'll be able to see at this specific round, and also the first frag being answered here. It's going to be Hamza taking out Envy, the Goyo, who was holding his angle in towards Cash. Unfortunately, will be the one who goes down, although they still needs to be worried about the site itself. They have control on towards Cash. Almost taking out the Goyo in towards logistics was a necessary one, but talking about the time itself, ESM Elites need to make a push here, or else Kira Esports will hold their ground. They have good amount of denials, they have C4s, they have the smoke gas canisters to fend off their push, and also how can I not forget about the Melusi's Banshee deterrent, which would give away their position and also slow them both at the same time. Talking about the time itself, we will see Baktoon Kid to try to use the exothermic charge to open up the walls of construction. It is very necessary and looks like it's going to work out well. Shindra taking some major damage there from the Goyo's Vulcan shield, and Athar will continue using his smoke gas canisters. Not a good position to be in. Shindra in a very bad spot, but somehow he will survive. Talking about that 20-second mark itself, the ping will come in, and so does the pings from the attackers, giving them the information as the Ash's breaching charge will come in to deal with some major damage, but it's going to be Mike taking out one. Rats gets the other. 8 seconds. They are, however, going for the plant. It's a huge bloodbath coming in, a huge pre-fire from all the three teams of Kira Esports, and with it is a 1v3. Hamza will be able to get one more. but he needs to find the last player here, Athar, who is still towards CCTV. The pre-fire from Hansa will come in from the SMG-11. A beautiful play and also a beautiful shot from the SMG-11, which would give ESM Elite their faith in winning and also equalizing the round count here, 2-2. Winning round 4, second floor CCTV, we will proceed to round 5, where the site for Kira Esports to be defending will be on Basement Church and Arsenal Room. Now, talking about the operator specs itself, I kind of feel like Kira Esports are thinking of going for a roam strategy here. Only, I believe, Death Amar will only be the operator who's going to roam, maybe in towards the construction at the early stage itself. And when Kira Esports gets the good amount of information as to where exactly E Samurai Elite is pushing, he'll be able to get into his position, maybe in main stairs or at the blue stairs as well, to try to hold the angles, to try to waste a lot of time to make sure that they'll be able to win the round. Although it is only one roamer here from on the side of Kira Esports, we might be able to see Rats trying to give support for his team. Maybe not. But their main goal is to make sure that they would waste a lot of time to try to open up the kitchen hatches. So let's see what's going to happen here. And talking about the attackers itself, we will see Danu bringing in the Twitch. The shock drone is very important. If Kira Esports doesn't see those shock drones, and who knows, maybe the shock drones might be able to take out the electro claws, which would give a much more easier path to open up the kitchen hatch, stock, or even at bar, to give them a lot of disturbance that they need. And we won't be able to see that in the action phase itself. 2-2 currently, favoring on the side of no one. And that Amar, just like I said, will be doing the roam game, and also Rats will be the one to try to cover him, maybe in towards the cash room itself, which leads to only 3 players who are currently holding down the site. And looks like the attackers are starting to make their move here. Talking about the attackers, though, their main objective, just like I said, opening up the hatches and also try to take out the utilities that the defenders have. Their main goal, be able to take out the tunnel's wall. It shouldn't be much of a problem. The only problem they do need to deal with is 2 of the roamers on the side of Kira Esports, who will give some major problem. The Melusi going on a very aggressive peak will be able to deal some major damage here, but it's going to be Amar taking out one. Instant refrag will come in, puts it in a 4v3, and with it, we will proceed to the 1 minute 55-second mark, where the man count is 4-3.
We're still not sure how Rats ended up falling to Hamza, but that was a big kill, primarily because the Jaeger on the roam is always such an operator of contention, a point of contention for any team attacking through first floor, trying to go through the hatch or wherever, really. It's always something you want to take care of before things get too dicey towards the end of the round. And with those 2 kills, the roamers were taken care of. But now Envy, we just saw him climb up out of oil pit. Seems to be wanting to go on to a bit of a roam game himself. This could be big for the side of Kira if Envy's little rotate here makes things that much harder for ESM Elite. It definitely will if he's allowed to roam free with no repercussions. Probably being seen by a drone, maybe not. Clears out a little vertical line of sight for himself. He's doing that for the kitchen area, but Shinra C4 will find Hamza instead. That's the move from down below, and there's Envy with another. That's Mike taken care of. There goes Danu. And a third with that kill has just turned it into a 1v3. Vinci, last man standing, now needs to make this clutch happen, as he is caught in a bit of a bad way. You have a roamer in Envy on second floor. Vinci himself just went out of the building, I believe, outside of kitchen. Yep, right outside of that hallway, actually. Will decide to go in, potentially towards garage or blue stairs. There's a lot of areas he could, but the issue is both sides are covered by a curve, and Shinra. Envy makes a bit of noise right here, trying to approach right now. This could be big, as he will come around behind the Zofia, and ooh, nearly lost his life there while trying to take him out, but he does get the kill eventually. Vinci falls, and Kira Esports will take Basement Church nice and quickly. No issues whatsoever, putting themselves up on a 3-2 scoreline, as we will see from the instant replay right there. Round 6 will now be underway. Second floor CCTV and cash room, the side of choice. This is the side that's currently going 1-1 for both Kira and ESM in this match, which makes this round all the more interesting and all the more exciting, if you ask me, primarily because should Kira Esports win this, they'll go 4-2 up onto attack on a Clubhouse. Sure, Clubhouse being a defender-sided map, they will be losing that home turf advantage, if you will. But ESM, on the other hand, if they manage to make it 3-3, go into defense, they've got a good chance of winning this, primarily because they've taken 3 rounds on attack. That is a huge point to remember, a huge positive when it comes to maps like Clubhouse. If you're equalizing on the attack, good work. The defense will definitely be just a little bit more yielding. At least, that's what the general idea and statistics of this map say. In any given match, things can change very quickly. For instance, yesterday's game on Cafe Dostoevsky. Cafe, we most of the time we see it as a defender-sided map. Yesterday, I believe, a majority of the rounds were taken by attackers in the match that we had, and that was quite the interesting game as well. So I'm not discounting that Kira Esports going on to attack could certainly turn up the heat and take the match for themselves. But going off simply what we know and what's on paper, this match is definitely going to be very interesting based on the results of this round. All right, that's a very interesting placement for the Banshee from Deathmer right there in the shelf of the CCTV's server. It's quite the placement right there. I have to look into that myself later on. Other Banshees go out in important areas. There's a bullet hole peek from Shinra all the way to the generator on the other side of the balcony. That is the bedroom balcony area. It's just making sure nobody, goes away from there safely. Potential one tap could be coming in. We'll find out later. Hamza's going to go down first, though. That's Rats on blue stairs. Has just taken a huge kill. Hamza has been a playmaker, and Shinra with the run out. Hello. He's going to find Platoon Kid, and that's another big drop. Your Heart Breacher, at least one of them, has been cleaned up on. Mike will come around, finds Envy. It's a big drop. Now with the Goya off the board, he needs to find the other one, and that is Rats, who is still on blue stairs. That little doorway, the angle that he's watching there. It's quite the advantageous one. If he just is able to emphasize on it, actually he won't be. He's going to fall back instead. Taking a bit of damage, not a whole lot. He's still more than alive, kicking, and he's going to be doing more work in this round at the minute 40 mark, passing on the timer right now. With the situation in a 3v4, ESM not in a good way. They still have Vinci and Mike, so they could get the breach done on main wall, right? Maverick and Zofia, no issues whatsoever. But the issue is, how do you proceed from that point? How do you go about this push that has been laid out and somewhat snubbed in front of this attacking team? It's going to be very difficult. With 75 seconds remaining, ESM Elite have a task on their hands.
A very difficult task for ESM Elite, knowing they've already lost 2 of their players by an unexpected run out in the hands of Shinra. And talking about the time itself, the Elite still in a very difficult spot. They've already lost one of their important hard breach, and also they haven't destroyed the default cams. The C4 will come in. Will it connect? No, it does not. They will survive. But Danu, on the other hand, gets an unfortunate disconnect, which would put themselves in a 2v4 situation. Both of those players who are making their way in towards the garage stairs. And talking about the time, they only have 25 seconds left for them to do so. Prefaz will come in, so does Mike, who is slowly making an inch, getting that control in towards the side so that he can go for those plants. Although you need to be careful of the C4s. Talking about the push, it will happen. A bit of pre-fires. He should have been able to see the weapon gun. No, it does not. And an attempt to go for a vault, it will not connect. And so does the C4 in the hands of Deathamo to take out yet another player on the side of ESM Elite. And looks like we'll be able to see the end of half time. It is 4-2 in favor of ESM Elite. Looks like we're just going to go for a pause because one of the players on the side of ESM Elite is unfortunately been disconnected. We just need to wait for him to come back at the right moment. Currently, he might have an issue. Either it might be due to a power issue or a connectivity issue. I mean, if it is a connectivity issue, he'll be able to come back as soon as possible. So, talking about the first half itself, 4 wins in the hands of Kira Esports and ESM, especially Hamza, the man who's making quite a lot of plays for their team. We did get to see him witness a 1v2 clutch. An impressive clutch, as I would like to talk about it. But for now, we will see Danu returning back to the game as we try to get the ready confirmation from both these teams, and with it, we'll be able to proceed to round 7 role swap. Kira Esports will be the one on attack on a map clubhouse.
Well, 4-2 going into attack. Kira Sports definitely have quite the advantage as we'll be going back into the game right now, ladies and gentlemen. Pause timer has been unpaused, and we will be going back live with the match on your screens once again. Basement Church and Arsenal Room will be the site of choice. Going on to round 7 post roll swap. ESM now have that defender's advantage, if you will. Excuse me right there. But Kid Esports have the advantage in terms of how many rounds they've taken. And ESM, just in general, this season, sure, they may be currently speaking in 5th position with 2 wins. They still haven't looked too good, if you will. Just in general, right? They're still a bit all over the place, a little bit uncoordinated, maybe discordant, maybe there's some issues going on still that they haven't quite managed to get a hold of. And that's something they'll try and fix as they move on, not just in the Pro League, but in future endeavors as well, of course. In the meanwhile, of course, you have Kira Esports, a team that has been performing fairly consistently for the majority of not just this tournament, the previous one as well. Mostly, in top Div 2 or mid Div 1. In certain bad seasons, they've come down to Div 2 as well. Gone back in the subsequent season, only to come back a couple seasons later. It's been one of those. They've been one of those teams. So that's what I'm trying to say, as you know. But of course, that doesn't discount them as one of the top teams of the region. That will certainly help quite a bit. In the meanwhile, interestingly enough, both Hamza and Paktoon Kid are down below towards Dirt, just coming back, making sure that Dirt is protected nice and quickly. And Hamza actually had to make a bit of a run right there, to actually get to his position. Meanwhile, Logistics Hatch has been opened up. Vinci just... Well, all right then. Vinci just trying to, work his magic in this region. As in the meanwhile, you have a turf disconnecting. Not too good for Kira Esports. ESM already had their disconnection not too long ago, and now Kira have theirs. It's not going to be too good, seeing as, of course, this, if we are to pause going into the next round, well, that's going to be counted as Kira's rehost. Unless, of course, he comes back. There's certainly a possibility of Atarv coming back before the round ends and giving his team much-needed intel, as Envy will jump in just at the right time. Danu was about to get him on bedroom balcony, but no, Deathamer now knows where Danu's position is. Ras will find one in the meanwhile. Vinci down. Big drop coming in onto the Mozzie. Ras is trying to find this Jaeger right now, who's trying to make a break for it. You can see him inside a garage. Danu seems to have successfully managed to slip away in this situation, making sure that no problems come in for ESM Elite. Maybe not. Just gotta make sure that all defenders are still alive, at least however many remain. Vinci is down, of course, so that's something that they'll have to take into account. Minute 10 on the clock. Danu, he's looks like he's already come back this side, holding down blue. Good decision, because it's a 4v4. If Kira Esports don't nab another kill, at least one, maybe even two, if they, get in there nice and quickly, then the round will be theirs. At least it will have a better chance of being theirs until the situation gets better for USM Elite. 45 seconds remain. Envy just running around top floor, first floor actually. Renee comes out, Deathamer. Not gonna find anything off of that, unfortunately. Atarv has returned, so that's good for Kira Esports. Shinra, gotta be careful while he's running. That breach charge could have done some damage to him, but it won't. Selma's going out now on that main wall, but there are mute jammers stopping it, so the grenade has to come in, but no, that grenade will miss, and the kill will be taken instead. That is from Paktoon Kid, as Deathamer will fall. Danu's gonna take a bit of damage in the meanwhile. The castle holding a long angle, can't quite find a second one because he needs to in this situation. Shinra, more damage done to him. They can't go through that main wall because those jammers are still there. Hamza finds one more. That's a 4v2. Envy so low, and he will go down as well. Hamza found the down on Shinra. Mike was the one to take the kill onto Envy. And that, ladies and gentlemen, as we will see in the instant replay, will be ESM's round holding, despite the loss of the Mozzie. and holding very, very well indeed. Now, with the round under their belt on the defense, they'll be going to second floor CCTV and cash room. With the scoreline being 4-3, still one round close for the side of Kira, but now ESM are also one round away from equalizing, pushing into an equalized situation, then into their lead. It could be very possible for them. Unfortunately, Kira Esports might have something to say about that. We'll see as we move along. Round 8 is a go.
Round 8 will come in, and also ESM Elite. They are not going to give up that round that easily, ladies and gentlemen. Winning their first defensive round on Basement Church second half. They will go back to second floor CCTV site. Talking about the operator's picks here, you have the Electroclaw, the Kaid, and also a bit of a trap operators. You have Smoke with the gas canisters and Melusi Fancy Deterrent. It's just a common ones that you do get to see more often. What one particular thing that you don't get to see common is the castle being brought up here. So the armor panels will be placed in towards the bar, so maybe you might be able to see one or more than one players holding that specific spot. Talking about Kira's drone placements, there's already two drones giving them viable information as to where exactly Castle's location is. If they do not, if Kira Esports eliminates the players in such a fast moment, then ESM Elite really has a lot of problems in their hands. Atharv will continue opening up the walls in towards second floor CCTV. It shouldn't be much of a problem or converting that hard wall into a soft wall. You even have the support from the team as he will continue doing his work. A beautiful end. Taking out the CCTV shouldn't have much of a problem. But talking about the players currently holding in towards lounge, you see two of the players, but the first frag though will come in on the hands of Rats, taking out Hamza this time, and it would look like ASM Elite is in a very bad spot here. The UMP try to gain some more damage as Danu gets one more, taking out a Tharv. And Paktoon is still trying to contest against the Ash in the main entrance. Looks like they still haven't got control of any of those particular side as Vinci even make it so. Taking out that Amar, puts it in a 4v3, and with it, Kira Esports is having a lot of problems here. Rat's already in very low HP, so does Envy. But Shindra, on the other hand, is already in towards the garage catwalk, taking out Danu. He's now slowly making his way in towards CCTV. Envy taking out Paktoon Kid was a necessary kill, but he still needs to be careful of one more player. And I believe that is going to be Vinci, because he has the C4 in hand. All he had to do is to go in towards lounge, use the C4 right at the default spot and get that kill. And also, most importantly, deny the plant from the attackers. That's exactly what Vinci is trying to do. Vinci sees the head, but a very good trigger discipline. Decides to go for the pre-fire, but no, misses the shot. And also give away his positioning as well. 1 minute left for Kira is supposed to make a move, and with the push will come in from Shindra. As more gas canisters will come in. Mike, a beautiful shot with SMG. Will take out Shindra, as it is now a 2v2 situation. Melusi prepped and ready with the C4, and so does Envy, who really needs to be careful on the hold. Vinci, oh boy, not a good way to get taken out, and with it, Mike be the last man standing. He still has no smoke gas canisters, in which we'll be able to use it once. Rat will proceed to go for the plant. He somehow survives the smoke, and with it, the pre-fire from Envy, oh boy. He's going to be able to eliminate Mike instantly, and with it, Kira Esports will be able to make their statement. Winning round 8, second floor CCTV. Let's take a look at that in the instant replay. Let's proceed to round 9, where Kira Esports made a miraculous win on second floor CCTV, and looks like ESM Elite will continue to go for the same side yet again. Second floor CCTV will be the side for Kira Esports to attack, and let's see whether Elite has something else to say.
Man, ESM almost had that last round all the way down to the 2v2 actually. Unfortunately, Vinci's positioning outside of garage door, that was what unfortunately lost them the round. Primarily speaking, sure, Mike could have made the clutch with the smoke right there, giving it back to his team. 1v2 definitely always possible, especially with the shotgun and SMG in hand. The main issue was the angles being held by the Sophia right there. Envy He made sure to check garage door before pushing up on garage itself, the catwalk, right, to give cover to the planter. And he did it at just about the right time, finding Vinci, dropping him, and putting the round in their advantage. As long as the plant was happening, of course, the smoke had to risk trying to get the denial in. And of course, unfortunately, that risk was too great with Ingrid already holding that position that he needed to go to. Now, in round 9, we're at a 5-3. Kira Esports bringing things around for themselves. You know, they're back on that 2-round lead that they were a couple of rounds ago. Main issue is, can they take CCTV one more time? Push ESM out of this site, maybe basement church, maybe gym bedroom. ESM will definitely need to do something different in the next round, and they most likely will, depending on the outcome of this round itself. Maverick coming in nice and quickly, making sure that the breach is done on the main wall of CCTV. The standard stuff that we always see from, attacking teams on Clubhouse, especially with the Thatcher bands in play. A turf doing what he does best, making sure that those lines are made. Wait, is that a bit of a connection right there in the reinforced segments? I think that might be, and maybe a turf may have missed a little bit on the top half. I don't think he even knows that. Gonna just get the bottom half done, but seems to be a bit of an issue right there. Gotta try a little bit better, big fella, as Dhanu's trying to pre-fire away in that general direction. Oh boy, that wall's not breaking. That's a little unfortunate, and that will definitely not help. But Tharv's gonna have to try something else in this situation, as Dhanu inside of catwalk, just trying to get away with something, or kill or two, maybe try and deny the Maverick. Interestingly enough, you do have Shinra in play, and he could come in, get the breach done nice and quickly with no issues, maybe potentially, unless of course the electro claws are on that wall. Seems like they're not, actually, considering that there is no mute. The electro claws seem to have been used on that on the garage walls instead. Shinra, there we go, he's in, getting a Selma down on that main wall, as the third will find the first one, Vinci to go down. Maverick definitely not happy with how the wall treated him right there. Couldn't get the breach done, so he decides to do the next best thing, take an operator off the board. With Vinci now down, the Melusi off the board with 60 seconds remaining, ESM will be at a disadvantage, and they need to brace for this push-through construction that's coming in from Kira Esports.
Brace for impact, as I like to call it, as Kira Esports started making their way in towards construction. They will open up the walls in towards construction as well. And talking about those gunfights, Dano already taking some major damage in towards garage, but we did not see any aggressive plays in towards the garage catwalk itself. The push will come in from Athar, wins that gunfight, puts in a 2v5, make that 2v4 with that refrag, and with it Mike and Danu will be the only two players left for ESM Elite to make their play. The concussive nades will come in, which would force the attackers to get control into a cache and also go for that post plant. The entire attackers have already got their angles, but Mike on the other hand gets a double kill. Mike gets a triple, taking out Envy, but it is a post plant, whereas Shinra almost succeed of winning at that. And with that, the post plant will come in. This could provide a lot of pressure here for ESM Elite. They don't have any information, but Mike, thinking of going for that vault push, he knows that there is Shinra. He goes for that peek, a huge mistake, and so does Danu. Taken out in the hands of Rats, as Kira Esports will continue their domination, winning round 9, second floor CCTV. And also we take a look at the instant replay. Kira Esports in match point against ESM Elite 6-3. And the site for ESM Elite to be defending is either going to be on Basement Church yet again. Yeah, there you go. Basement Church will be the site for ESM Elite to be defending, knowing how well that they did succeed holding on round 7. You know, bringing in the Mute Mozzie combo, and also I believe they did brought in the castle to try to go for that extended roam. It did work out well in their favor. But for now, we won't be able to see those operators being brought up, and I believe this is going to be a very anchored hold from ESM Elite. Maybe, maybe not. A 6 pick from Hansa, maybe switching it out for the Mute. No, it's going to be the Kaid, the Electro Claws, to make sure that the attackers would have a lot of difficulties opening up the hatches on map Clubhouse. What's going to happen here? Will we see Kira Esports winning against ESM Elite, or will the defenders give them a fight that they will remember? We're about to find out in this round itself.
That we most certainly will. ESM, from the looks of it, the kind of operators that they have brought out, it's very likely that they're going to go for a bit of a turtle hole right here. You have the ADSs to protect the Banshee in blue, the standard stuff for the most part, And excuse me, right there, they will make sure to have the Kaid in play just to delay Kira Esports, not even like denied outright. Like I said, Maverick is definitely very good in these situations, but at least there will be a delay in getting the breach done. And of course, Maverick needs to be in a lot of places in many different times in a given round. He could be opening up that construction, the dirt tunnel wall, and then go for the hatches, but then not have enough fuel for 2 hatches, so they'll have to settle for 1, unless of course you have Shinra taking care of a different hatch elsewhere, or if Shinra himself decides, the ace that is, to go in and get a breach done on that construction garage dirt wall, excuse me, right there. Deathamer looks like he's checking for those impact trick holes and verifying that there may be none in this situation. That will, of course, make things a little bit harder for the side of the defense, but then again, they know that with the Maverick in play, impact tricking might not be the best thing to do. They could still try it in case Shinra comes in, and he will come in, actually, trying to go for a bit of a breach right now. One will be broken, the second one as well, but the impacts will come out to deny that second Selma and do a bit of damage to Shinra as well. Unfortunately, I don't think he was expecting it, which will leave him a little low on HP, a little bit more cautious of the angles that he needs to peak as you have the Selmas coming in. But Vinci, in the meanwhile, directly below where the Maverick's going for the breach right now. A Turv has to be so careful right now. Any exposed angles, and he will be bidding goodbye to his face. Any second now. No, not quite damage done, but no. The Melusi will fall back as Vinci just couldn't quite connect right there. Third now is, of course, aware of the fact that there's somebody playing around Moto potentially, but no one is. Whoever it was has fallen back. The smoke has fallen back as well from the looks of it. Grenade comes out. That will actually find Hamza, or at the very least down him. And that was through the hatch, the little, just this little opening created by the Selma not too long ago. Of course, Mike will get the revive in. Xbox Tunkin is taking a ton of damage from elsewhere. Not sure where that came out of. Has to be so careful. Again, position is very important right here. Excuse me, for the side of ESM Elite. They need to make sure that they don't lose bodies here. 3 of their attackers are hit. 3 of the defenders, excuse me, are very much hit. 2 of them are very close to death's door, and if Kita Esports find them both while making this execute happen, one of them is the Maestro, mind you, it's going to be very difficult with 30 seconds on the clock.
30 seconds, and looks like one body is going to happen here. It's going to be Shinra taking out Hamza, and looks like Maverick is slowly making his way in towards Tunnel, and he will get one more. That is going to be one of them taken care of. It's going to be Envy taking out one, and a huge refrag will come in. 3 to 4, make that 2v4 as the push will happen. Rats on the play, and he will switch out to the Musoc to find out the last player, Dhanu. He knows where exactly his positioning is, misses the tap, and with it, it is a post-plant 1v3. Yatharv will take care of that situation, and whether Kira Esports will be able to win 3 attacking rounds in a row on map Clubhouse against ESM Elite, and also get the win against them 7-3 against ESM Elite, which would put Kira Esports on the top of the leaderboard, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations to Kira Esports. They're not out of the woods just yet. We still have a lot of matches to go. I mean, the week 3 matches are the ones where we'll be able to determine who's going to be in the top and who is not. Talking about Kira Esports, though, they will be very happy with their standings. First position, 12 point, a very good here round conversion rate. And also talking about ESM Elite, this is not going to bode well here, although the good amount of the hold and also the way how they pushed was extraordinary, but unfortunately it wasn't enough to get the win against Kira Esports. It was very unfortunate for them. We're talking about this match itself. What a massive to get to witness here on map Clubhouse, and also we'll be able to look at it and relive the moment. We'll be able to check out the highlights. Without further ado, we'll just head into it and talk about the entire match itself. Talking about the first half, The only room where ESM Elite did win those rounds were on second floor gym and CCTV round 2 and round 4. But we did get to witness Hamza make a beautiful 1v2 clutch. Especially in this round, in round second itself, we did get to see Atar making a beautiful attempt, a 1v3 clutch with the SMG-11. Unfortunately, the M5 shotgun didn't exactly land where he wanted to hit, and unfortunately they did lose one of those crucial rounds. But instead, they did continue to hold their grasp. They did understood what kind of pushes that ASM Elite will be making. It did, Kira Esports understood ASM Elite like a book. It was basically more predictable as to what kind of push that they were going to make. Especially on the CCTV, we did get to see most of the pushes coming in towards construction. We didn't get to see some huge emphasis in towards Garage Catwalk itself. Knowing that itself, Kira Esports made a decision, knowing that they're not going to push in towards Garage Catwalk. They'll just open up the wall on CCTV to make sure that the CCTV rotation would not happen. And they did exactly that. The same thing even did, the same push from Kira Esports attack did happen in the second half itself, where they did not have any problems dealing with ESM's defense. There were some particular places where ESM Elite felt like they didn't had good amount of information on attack itself. Although on defense, they did make a miraculous hold on basement church hold, where all they had to do was just wait for the attackers to make their move. Although the kitchen hatch wasn't open properly, the tunnel push did not happen from the attackers, but they did make that beautiful recovery in round 10 itself. Both two of those rounds were on second floor CCTV. If Vinci was alive, if he did not peak at that specific moment, if he could have just waited for a bit of a second to force them, at least to try to bait them in a post-plan situation, Melusi would have gotten that kill. He would have at least got, at least the hands of Rats, knowing that he was just 10 HP. All he needs to do is just get in the nitro cells area of effect, and ESM Elite would have gotten that round. But unfortunately, due to that huge mistake peeking right towards the garage, is what ESM Elite is going to be losing that specific round. Not just one though, 3 rounds back to back. Actually 2 rounds, which was on CCTV and also on Basement Church, where Kira Esports forced themselves to put them in the post match, and with it the last match, the last round, we did get to witness there, and with it will be 7-3. Good plays from Hamza, and also good plays coming in from Rats as well. It's been a long time since we didn't get to see Rats making some huge plays, because it was just Rattler making some incredible plays in the previous matches. Even Invi was performing excellently well. But yeah, Jack, talking about this match itself, what did you feel about this?
Honestly, it was a pretty good match, all things considered. Mostly for Kira Esports, of course. 7-3 is a pretty good score, all in all. And unfortunately, ESM, like I said, while they have won 2 matches this season so far, and those 2 losses now with this game included, they still really haven't impressed any of us, if you will. They haven't looked good. Maybe, who knows, maybe in week 3 they might have some surprises for us, as of course the next time we see ESM Elite on stream will be on week 3. But for the ESM teams, there's still ESM Super and Div 1, so more to look forward to tomorrow and day after. But before that, of course, ladies and gentlemen, we will be taking a quick break before we come back with the final game, the second and final game of the night, which is Statics Gaming taking on XTM Riot, which will go live on your screens on the map of Villa after this short break. Stay tuned.
We head for the sky, it's alright. Our wings wouldn't fly, it's alright. If we are crashing down again, pieces of love, it's alright. Scattered in mud, it's alright. You're giving me a lie again. And tell me what you want, this time I won't take it to the heart. Cause I know we won't make it out, I've heard it all before. Yeah, tell me what you want, let me hear that I'm the only one. You know that we won't make it out, we've heard it all before. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright, so let's move on. 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 We head for the sky, it's alright. Our wings wouldn't fly, it's alright. If we are crashing down again, pieces of love, it's alright. Scattered in mud, it's alright. You're giving me a lie again. And tell me what you want, this time I won't take it to the heart. Cause I know we won't make it out, I've heard it all before. Yeah, tell me what you want, let me hear that I'm the only one. You know that we won't make it out, we've heard it all before. It's alright. Hey. It's alright. Hey. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright, so let's move on. 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 It's alright, so let's move on.
Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the WD BLACK Esports Club Pro League 4 Rainbow Six Siege, supported by Ubisoft and our broadcast partner Booyah. I'm your host Blackjack, along with Baba Gusta and of course our admin Eisen, as we are here for the second and final stream game of the night, XTM Riot taking on Statics Gaming, which will be going live on the map of Villa in just a short while, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a very interesting game indeed, with Statics on the defense and XTM on the attack. Of course, XTM we've and we've seen them be very good on multiple maps, to the point where they even were in Div 1 fighting against some of the best in this region. And then of course, unfortunately, a bad season saw them come back down to Div 2. Statics in the meanwhile, well, they've mostly stuck to Div 3. Here they are in Div 2, a team that is very hard to predict in most circumstances, and we will see if any of our pre-game predictions stick with them this time around as well. Although I will say this much, most of those predictions don't exactly don't exactly stack, if you will. Again, like I said, Statics Gaming definitely aren't they're not exactly easy to predict, so it's going to be definitely quite interesting just in general. Actually, we will be going live with the game in just a short while, ladies and gents. Just excuse me, there seems to be some issues with the things that are happening on the match itself right now. So, we're just going to take a little bit longer than expected to get into the match itself. I do have to apologize for that, as there seems to have been an issue from our end, if you will, with the sides and whatnot. We do apologize for, coming on early and then getting all of our viewers' hopes up and whatnot. But it's not going to take too long. All the players were ready, and we were going to be going into the match regardless. So yeah, we're going to go live in just a short while, but we're going to take a quick break, get all the players back in, and we'll see you guys in just a short while. Stay tuned. Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the game between Statics Gaming and XTM Riot. Of course, we had to take a little bit of a quick break to remake the lobby and whatnot because of some side-related information being, misread, if you will, but everything is set and proper. Statics Gaming are on the attack, XM Riot are on the defense, and we'll be going live with the map of Villa for the match between both of these teams to start off, this time both on the correct side. So let's join the players live on the middle of the ban phase with XTM starting things off with the first attacker ban of the night. They will decide to ban the Thatcher nice and quickly, getting rid of the EMPs from the SAS attacker, making sure that there are no issues when it comes to holding down the fort, especially when it is about utilities. Those EMPs can be quite annoying just in general, so understandably so, the Thatcher ban comes in. But the second ban of the night is going to be from Statics Gaming, and that is Blackbeard. Interesting decision right there to ban the Blackbeard, although I kind of get it. Just in general, Blackbeard isn't really a map-specific ban. He's just a ban that a lot of people really want to take care of, because Blackbeard is just an operator you do not want to see or go up against in general. Sure, he wins rounds for the attacking team, but when you're on defense, going up against him, it can be hard, especially in competitive, to counter him effectively with bullets because of that face shield of his, breaking that one rule of the one-shot headshot that Rainbow Six Siege holds so dear. Melusi will be the ban from the side of Statics, the first defender ban of this map, and finishing it off will be XTM Riot's Mira ban for this fourth one. All slots covered. It is Thatcher, Blackbeard, Melusi, and Mira, ladies and gentlemen, for the ban phase of the night. And with that, round one will be underway between both of these teams. Looks like on second floor trophy and statuary room. Interesting decision, of course, but trophy statuary is the more common opener site on Villa, followed only by Aviator. Dining is more of like a surprise pick, if you will, but most teams don't really like to go dining first and foremost. Regardless, before round one gets underway, let's have a look at both the rosters that are here in the lobby for us today. From the side of Statics Gaming, we've got Kunta, Lane Jokes, Royce, X10, and Prince. And from the side of XTM Riot, we've got MBK, Ironside, King Shades, Maddie, and Yobo. Interesting last name right there for the mute player, with the Momai being 6 picked in for the side of the defense. Second for trophy and statuary will be the side of choice as round one is underway, and I've kept the man from the mic long enough. Baba Gusta, take it away.
Thank you for that, Jack. Round one will proceed, and with the site being on second floor trophy and statuary room, XTM will make their first hold. Talking about Statics Gaming, though, not currently in a good day at all. They did, however, lose against Kira Esports on 8-6, I believe, which did not put Statics Gaming on at their best of their positions, and even on their standings itself, they haven't won a single match in this season. Same thing can be said to XTM Riot as well. They even lost one match as of now. Actually, I'm not quite sure how many matches has they gone. Actually, quite a lot. Negative 23 round conversion rate. Not a good place for XTM Riot to be in. Getting that 3 points might be able to do something around here. With the action phase coming in place, C4 from MBK doesn't work out well in his favor, as a P10 Droney will decide to go for some more aggressive plays. Detect giving away his positioning in the hands of Kuntal. And looks like he will be able to go for yet another pre-phase again. Talking about the attackers, though, they will continue doing their work to try to get control on master bedroom, so that they would open up the wall to try to make an angle right in towards the trophy room. And looks like the Vamai gets caught from the Jackal scans. Should give away his position, so he will force himself to go back into the site, which would give Statics Gaming the opportunity to just mainly focus in towards the site itself. Jackal currently holding in towards the statuary room, so does one of the players, as the ADS gets popped up due to with the Womai's magnets. Catches one of the utilities. Yobo does go for that pre-fire, doesn't work out well in his favor. Talking about XTM Riot, though, it is a fully anchored hold, except the Womai, who is still holding from a very different position, currently going for a shallow roam, as Lame Jokes will still try to find exactly where those mute jammers are, so that they will proceed opening up those walls. But unfortunately, X10 is going to lose to that gunfight against the mute's SMG. Niobo decides to be lucky around here. Doesn't work out well. It's going to be MBK taking out yet another player. It's going to be Kuntal taken care of. Looks like MBK will decide to try to play yet another hand here. 1 minute left. And let's see what Status Gaming have in their pockets. And talking about it, the Ace and the Jaeger, both of them goes down in a fiery battle. With it, it is a 2v4. I think that 1v4 as Prince will be taken care of in the hands of Nightshades. Currently not in a good spot here. G8 LMG does wonders for the IQ. But with less HP remaining, all the defenders needs to do is just, just shoot one body shot. That's exactly what they need to make sure that they would open up their first round win. Talking about lame jokes, so he will slowly make his way in towards the astronomy stairs. The defenders have no idea on where exactly the IQ's location is. So maybe he needs to use that element of surprise. And looks like it's not going to work out well because Nightshade did get to hear where exactly the IQ's positioning was and also give them the round win for the side of XTM Right. Second floor trophy site will go to them, and with it, we'll be able to proceed to round 2. But the site will be on second floor AVG. Let's see whether Status Gaming still has something to answer for.
Well, they just might, all things considered, and that could certainly be something that we will be looking forward to. That is something we will be looking forward to, just in general. But unfortunately, of course, Kuntal, couldn't quite get into sight. Yesterday, a lot of the things that Statics were doing were sort of predicated on Kuntal getting in there and dropping bodies very quickly. It didn't matter if he was alive for the end of the round itself. As soon as he got the first kill, even the first couple of kills, STZ would fall in and make the rest of the round their own. At least they would try to. And in the end, of course, it went 8-6 in favor of Kira. Right towards the end, they couldn't quite make it happen, unfortunately. But, of course, it was a very good showing for the side of Statics Gaming. A much better showing in general than we get to see from them when it comes to matches in the Pro League. As in the meanwhile, looks like Nightshades has disconnected from the side of XTM Riot. Could be cause for a rehost call right there. We're going to find out in a few seconds. They don't have too long, though, for that rehost call. And if they wait too long for it, they won't get it. We'll have to wait until the next round, and they'll have to play 4v5. And looks like that might just be the case. Not going to look too good for them if that is going to go forward with. Looks like that will, for now at least, until the call comes in, which it doesn't look like. Anyway, Statics Gaming, like we were saying yesterday, wasn't really, what we normally expect or see from them, just in general. Sure, we were expecting them to fight fairly hard against Kid Esports. It's just that yesterday's performance was something quite different from what we normally get to see from them. And that was certainly refreshing. Excuse me out there. But if that last round that we had was any indication, today might not be similar to what we saw yesterday, unless, of course, Extend has something to say about that, and he does. Finds Ironside, the first one to go down. That is, of course, the Valkyrie of the board, which will make things just a little bit harder for XTM Riot because they have, effectively speaking, lost 2 bodies. Given that Nightshades, he is back, of course, but he isn't playing any operators. He'll merely be manning intel, which is still pretty good. XTM Riot will require all the intel in this round that they could possibly get for themselves. But, of course, there's going to be a lot more to deal with as we move on into the round. X10 coming up broadly, very, very close to side indeed, as Matt is going to take a ton of damage. That is, of course, from Lame Jokes, the Ash, with the help of Prince. And the C4 toss could come in any second now. I don't think it will. So, Ash charges going out to take care of utilities inside of that 90 bend. As Extend still wants to get in, but no, he'll be taken down. Beautiful shot from, from inside his sight by Yobo. That is 1 kill taken, but of course at the cost of some HP. Taking out the man. MBK now looking to be the playmaker. Will miss his shots, and the Roni doesn't have too many bullets in general, but Prince will be down in the meanwhile. That's not going to be too good. That was from Yobo. Shotgun again. Might just be revived, and the Mute's playing very close to that newly opened Selma Breach. Kuntal in the meanwhile gets MBK. Huge drop with the Mozzie gone. Now it's a 2v4, and the only one low on HP is Prince. XTM Riot are in trouble.
A 2v4 not favorable for, and also they will reduce one more as Lim Joe gets one, taking out Royce. With it, Maddie will be the last player standing. as they will proceed to go for the plant. They don't have exact information. Well, now they have, and Prince will gladly get that final kill. Status Gaming will be the one to win their attack rounds, winning round 2, second floor AVG. As we take a look at it in the instant replay, round 3 will come in where the score count for both these teams will be 1-1. Now, the next side, though, for XTM Right to do defend will be in second floor AVG. So, talking about that side itself, we did get to see how it did not favor on the side of XTM Riot. Although with the Nightshade, getting back into the match and also hoping that he'll be able to provide his teammates as a good amount of cover as possible, be able to see him trying to play in this round itself. MBK will still bring in the Mozzie, Nightshade bringing in the Wumai. You still have the C4s. Just as I was talking about it, there will be a 6-pick from MBK switching from the Mozzie to the Echo. Having information is ideal and also gives a major impact for Riot, knowing that they do not have a perfect information as to what kind of push that the attacker is making as of now. Not to mention that there is the Jackal still available. And the way how aggressively he pushed in towards the second floor saturated room did not expected XCM Riot to try to, lose those gunfight in the first place. And also MBK did had much amount of information from the footprints itself, which gave away some major players. So having information, especially those yokai drones and also the Valkyrie cams, will give them a lot of information in nearby in towards the side, maybe in trophy, statue, astronomy, even maybe in towards the red stairs as well. Who knows? But let's figure this situation out as we proceed to the action phase itself, where the attackers have spawned in towards the fountain, and Prince making his way from his from the main entrance itself. Talking about the push, though, there is a confirmation saying that they will go for a push in towards the master bedroom, but they need to be worried about the astronomy. Lame jokes pushing in towards the kitchen might be able to give some flank opportunities if he slowly makes his way in towards the astronomy. You still have Prince, who I believe will repel in towards the window, or maybe not. Actually, she won't. Instead, she will try to give some cover to Kuntal instead, as they're slowly making their way. The astronomy push from Lame Jokes will succeed, taking out Yobo. Puts it in a 5v4. Still needs to find 4 more players, in which X10 will be able to find one via the prints, via the footprints. The push needs to come in, and X10 Lame Jokes are definitely not wasting any time at all. A solo push, and also will be able to figure out one more. Nightshades will be able to eliminate Kuntal's aggressive plays, but the way how so many information has been gathered around from the attackers, it's not going to hold out well. X10 Prince getting 2 more, and X10 really needs to be careful of those push, but we get to finally down the Valkyrie instead. And looks like the last player would be the Jaeger, but unfortunately he won't be able to do anything at all. Status Gaming, swift, clean, and precise win for them, as they'll be able to win second floor AVG yet again, and also put them in the lead. 2-1, a very quick round for Status Gaming to be attacking in the first place. This is the aggression that we do get to see from Status Gaming. Unfortunately, we actually did get to see that, a bit of that play style when they went up against Kira Esports. Unfortunately, it didn't bode well in their favor, because we did get to see them make a numerous amount of mistakes. The main mistakes was that the player were not watching their backs. We did get to see some huge aggressive plays, especially from Kuntal and Lame Jokes, where they did get 1 or 2 kills, but an instant refrag would come in, and the way how Kira Esports did hold their ground, Status Gaming didn't had any answers to prove. Although going up against XTM Riot shouldn't be much of a problem for them, but who knows, maybe XTM Riot might have something to talk about. Just as I was trying to praise XTM Riot, Shad unfortunately disconnected, which would put them in a 5v4. And looks like XTM Riot will be in a very difficult spot here.
That they just might, of course. XTM Riot not looking too good today from the looks of it, as again, the disconnection coming in from Nightshades right there, not going to be helping them in the slightest, given the way that their holds have come out today. It's not been good, just in general. And yeah, Status Aim is definitely taking full advantage of that. In fact, they're actually playing a lot closer to how they did yesterday, allowing the fraggers to really get in there quickly and dismantle all the defensive preparations coming in from their opponents, making sure that they don't have any time whatsoever to, to completely be prepared. That is certainly helping them in this situation. They're not exactly rushing, it's not an all-man rush and decide one or two of their players, most likely X10, maybe Kunto, sometimes Lane Jerks. They're getting in there and they're, dislodging operators quickly. MBK with the C4 will miss, unfortunately. No damage done as well. Ironside with the pre-fire all the way out towards the other balcony, the veranda of study room, right there. Certainly an important position as Nightshades has returned. Looks like a little bit too late though. He will still man the intel, and those Val cams will definitely be very important for the side of XTM's defense, as Ironside is still trying to find a head or two. So are Maddie and MBK. Shots fired. X10 will take a bit of damage. Has to be so careful. He's the Jackal after all. MBK takes a ton of damage on return fire. As more scans are coming out, Extend could go on to continue that scan onto the bandit's position, because of course he just left here, which will mean more footprints to track. The Punko's been taken down in the meanwhile. Big drop comes in as MBK wants to peek 90. The drone will spot him on Fox entry, and now the shots are about to come in. Ironside takes a bit of damage on the longer hallway of 90. Still trying to do some work right here. His position given away, but the peaks will come in as Maddie comes around, takes down Lame Jokes. That's one more huge drop. Looks like the push has been read into, but not by much. Prince, gotta be so careful here. He has to know that there's the Valkyrie close, and she gets taken out by, of course, the air jab. And with Royce taking another kill on the other side of the map, we have suddenly a 1v3 all down to Yobo the Mute, and he knows that everybody's coming in this very door. He can make something big right now. He's taking a bit of damage. Will take one kill. Can he take two? No, not quite. Will decide to fall back down to first floor instead. The plant is about to go off. The C4 does not connect, which means Prince can go for the plant without any issues. But is he being protected? He will be. Royce comes in for cover nice and quickly, and Yobo is playing down below. Not a lot of time. 40 seconds on hand. He has to try and get in to get this counter defuse. He needs 7 seconds, so he has to spare 7 whole seconds, and he won't be, because his life will not be spared in this round. Royce will finish him off. Yobo goes down, as we will see in the instant replay. And STC take yet another round. They're being very, very good today. Status Gaming definitely looking at quite a lot better than they have just in general when it comes to the Pro League, and that is definitely going to be a huge plus point for them. Now, of course, the site is set to change because it's round 5, and for the last 3 rounds back-to-back, XTM Riot have not won a single one. They're going to try and change things around by going to first floor dining room and kitchen, and they need these defensive wins because they are defense first on Villa, which means they'll be going to attack on the other side of round 7 roll swap. And if the side of Statics are on advantage going in to defense, oh boy, that is going to be a very tough situation for XTM Riot. Let's see if they can get themselves out of that as we move into round 5.
There might be a bit of a solution here, especially talking about the operators picks on defense. They can bring up Cav, but I don't think that's a good idea at all, because I do understand that Cav can be able to counter the Jackal's footprints, but her weapon itself is not that powerful enough to sustain. Knowing that she even has a powerful ability, which is called as interrogation, which would give away the entire attacker's location. But yeah, talking about the her kit itself, the weapon, the M12, or even the Spas 15 doesn't deal much major damage, but still she is very powerful in close range. So the only problem that they need to deal with is to try to eliminate. But wait a minute, Yobo, 2 kills. Where exactly did that happen though? Right in towards the bicycle room where Status Gaming decides to go for an aggressive push, but unfortunately they didn't get to see it. X10 trying to get one, but an instant refrag will come in, and MBK taking out Kuntal, and with it Royce will be the last man standing. Goes for the push, doesn't be able to deal any damage at all to Maddie at all. XTM Riot will be able to win this round without having a hitch at all. Round 5, first floor dining and slash kitchen goes to them. And will be able to go to round 6. This is the second round where it did get to see such fast finishes. I mean, first was from Status Gaming, and now XTM Riot, decides to say, oh, I mean, you are speed. Well, guess what? I am speed square. Do you know what is the meaning of speed? Speed is equal to 9.8 meters per second square. I learned that
Baba,
in science, so yeah.
I'm gonna stop you right there by saying that, instead of being speed square, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what they could be? They could just be a speed bump, right? Because they stopped Status Gaming speed,
Ah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah. That
yeah,
works out a little bit better. I'm sorry, I kind of had to. I was seeing you go on about what was it, 9.8 meters per second square and
yes,
gravity and whatnot, and
yes,
we were
yes,
about to get real physicsy up in here. I don't think we
yes.
quite need
I
that,
yes,
if
I
you
I
will.
passed I passed physics in supplementary exams, so I had to memorize that.
I mean, we all kind of did, just like how mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Not sure
Yeah,
where we'll use that information, but it's been burned into our heads regardless. So here we are, however many years after that academic incident happened. Whoever knows. At this point, it just kind of sits there, right? It's like
yep,
I know this fact, but why?
including mathematics one too. So yeah.
Yeah, but
Even
why?
maths. I mean, you have all these four equations. You have a guy named A, and you have another guy named B.
Oh, you're referring to algebra, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Then you
yeah,
try to
yeah.
combine them together. It becomes A square, B square. But for now, let's just focus in the match as of now. Round 6, second floor trophy will be the site. And talking about Yobo, though, the man who made those double kills, will he make yet another play for XTM Riot? Able to find out here and here itself. The widget will be able to mask his location, but the attackers will really be careful from the study room. A very risky fallback, in which he will succeed without dealing any dent from the attackers' bullets at all. But here comes Extend sneakily pushing in towards the 90s hallway. Gets caught from the Legion Gooman, and also Prefire will come in, giving away his position. But for now, talking about the information game here from Status Gaming, they have good amount of information. The same can't be said to XTM Riot, because the only information that they have is through default cams or from the footprints that they'll be able to hear it. Lame Jokes going for a very aggressive push in towards AVG. They want to make sure that they'll be able to get the control as best as possible. Make sure that they do not waste any time at all. Talk about the information game here from Status Gaming. It is fantastic. They have so many information, so much footprints to give their location, and also the first frag will come in from Lane Jokes, taking out MBK. Claymore will be placed just to make sure that there won't be any pushes, and just the Jackal doing just Jackal things, giving information on where exactly these players are. Looks like Status Gaming is definitely going to give XTM Riot a very hard time.
That could certainly be the case right now, but XTM Riot needs to be so very careful of all of these angles and whatnot that they are playing on. They can be used against them. That's what they'll try to see if they can avoid. Prince in the meanwhile is going to find Ironside. That's the Legion of the board. Another big drop comes in. Lane Jokes in the meanwhile has to be so careful. Maddie's directly down below him, but Prince will go down in the meanwhile. Not a good drop. And in the meanwhile, interestingly enough, Maddie decided not to take that shot, as X10 is now chasing, and he will find Yobo. That is a visual taken care of. 4v2, and Maddie now has to push up, and he will do exactly that. Sees the Claymore, avoids it, but now there's an air jab there. He's gonna get blown back to infinity and beyond, as Lane Jokes goes for plant, will get it done. Kuntal goes down below, sees the vertical line of sight. So does the Twitch, actually. Both of them are now down below, trying to play a little bit of verticality, if you will. Maddie actually has been left alone inside of sight with the diffuser. He's got to be a little bit careful, because this is clearly a ploy from the side of the attack, and it will work, albeit a little bit later than they wanted to execute on the beginning. Lane Jokes will take the final kill, Maddie to fall, and with that, another round will go the way of Static Gaming, and it's once again a second floor round that goes their way as well. 4-2 on the attack going into round 7 roll swap. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just say, Statics today has been surprising to say the least. And given their current position on sixth place, yeah, they will certainly be looking to make that just a little bit better, although they've got quite the climb in front of them. Then again, XTM Riot, yeah, they're at the very bottom, so it's not like they've had a great season either. Two teams from the bottom three currently duking it out to see who can give themselves a better position for the rest of the season going into week three. But right now, we'll be going into second floor trophy and statuary room with Royce with the sixth pick out of the cap can into the mute. Could have probably kept the cap can in. Although I understand with the Mozzie in play, you want mute for maximum information denial. And that's why we will see the SAS defender come in. Round 7 will also come in. 42 on the scoreline. Statics are now on the defense.
Statics already in a lead for having a total of 4 round wins. Also, the same cannot be said to XTM Riot, since they were the one on defense in the first half. Now, since they will be the one on attack, things might be a bit difficult unless and until they do try to win those important sites, which would be on Trophy and the Aviator and Games room. But we're about to find out as we proceed to the action phase itself. Mozzie will be able to find one of the drones, will be able to give good amount of information, and he'll be able to catch Nightshade's drone. Very unfortunate, but he is currently playing as the Sedge. He'll be able to give support via the sledgehammers and also the grenades to make sure that he'll be able to take out those utilities. Talking about the utilities game itself, we won't be able to see any deployable shield being placed on the side of defense. A lot of C4s, in which there should be a total of 3 C4s in the hands of Status Gaming. So maybe we might be able to see the defenders trying to go for a C4 play right from below, but we will see Maddie entering in towards walk-in closet, eliminating Prince by a surprise attack in towards Sanctuary room. Although he needs to be careful because there is one more playing holding that specific angle, goes for that shot, misses the opportunity. He will fall back and try to hold a defensive spot as of now. Kuntal is still waiting for that opportunity, whereas X10 takes out MBK. The C4 deals a major damage to both Maddie and Yobo. But they will still survive in the hands of Mozzie. The pre-fire from the P10 drone, it doesn't work out, but here comes another C4 and also a kill from Lame Joke's P10 Roney, which would put XTM Riot in a 4v2. A beautiful shot, and Lame Jokes with the final kill to take out Iron Side. Status Gaming bringing speed into Static as they'll be able to win round 7, second floor trophy room. As we take a look at it in the instant replay, we will proceed to round 8. The site for Status Gaming to be defending will be on dining room and kitchen. Talking about my speed. Actually, no, never mind. Round 8 will proceed. First for dining room and kitchen will be the site, and let's see whether XTM Riot has something else to say here.
They're most certainly going to have to come up with something right now, because whatever they're trying, it's not working. Even on the attack, being taken down by Statics Gaming back-to-back is certainly going to be not too good for them. 5-2 on the scoreline. NSTZ taking full advantage of the fact that they are now on defense as we head to first floor dining room and kitchen. Oh, wait, hello there. Looks like everything froze for me, but that's just my internet issue. Do apologize for that, ladies and gents. Regardless, yeah, what I was saying was 5-2 on the scoreline. STZ taking full advantage of the fact that they are on the defense. XTM Riot not looking too well tonight. And I have to say, something I probably should say at this point is I've mentioned that tonight is a bit of a surprising performance from the side of Statics Gaming, primarily because I understand that the performance they had against Kita Esports yesterday was also pretty good, all things considered, even if they did lose right towards the end. It just comes down to the fact that across from what I've seen from them throughout the entirety of the Pro League and what little they had in the previous league, wasn't necessarily impressed, all things considered. Sure, it was fun to see them try out different things and, be a little experimental at times and not all be there at certain others. But just in general, it wasn't entirely something that had me latched onto them as a team, right? I have nothing against the players. In fact, I know some of them in real life, and all good people and whatnot. Excuse me, they're all good people, all actually kind of friends as well to a degree. So yeah, it's always nice. But as a team, I haven't really been too impressed. I'm sorry, guys. I just have to say it. Meanwhile, X10, not sure about that peak. He saw that drone spotted and still decided to go for that. Goes for the C4 play as well and misses. Very low on the HP right there, as he will just fall back nice and quickly. You know, couldn't get a frag, but that's fine. You still have the vigil above. Kuntal could still do a ton of work off of this, but MBK will actually go down and Royce will come out and find another. Nightshades has gone down. Kuntal gets another Maddie to fall. What is happening right here? It seems as if STZ have caught on to Riot. They have latched on with their claws and they are now refusing to let go. Yobo is now the last man standing in a sudden turn of events. And X10, what is this run out? He's outside of the of Art Studio. He wants this kill. Yo is completely avoiding that fact, you know, running around inside the building, pre-firing what he can, just trying to survive in general. Will he be able to though? Can he get a kill? Well, he will. Kuntal, who's also outside the map apparently, gets taken down now in a 4v1. So X10 will actually not get. Oh well, hello there. That was that was kind of messy right there. Yoba did get X10 and another defender right there before Prince came in and said, you know what? All right, that's enough. You guys can quit it now. And he made him quit it right there. A little bit of banter in the all chat as well, just to signify that yeah, it was always just a little bit of fun and games right towards the end. The STZ definitely were like, you know what? It's a 1v5. I think we could afford to lose 3 people. Just sends them out to the wolves right there. A Video Games Room will be the side of choice on the match point round now. 6-2 is the scoreline, as Statics Gaming are very much dead set to win this game.
Well, it is 6-2. And the last, actually, I wouldn't say the last site. XTM Riot still has a chance here. Let's see what's going to happen here with the side being on second floor AVG. Also from the chat banter itself, you get to see Yobo typing those 2 words easy. Although the full form of easy should be electronic zing. Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. But yeah, let's just head on into the prep phase itself. Status Gaming in match point 6-2. The reason why I said electronic zing is because, you know, you have Status Gaming, Static has electricity. I make reference jokes. I do have to apologize for that. But for now, let's just, you know, ignore the jokes that I just said right now and just focus into the match itself. Second floor AVG will be the side 6-2.
Yeah,
Okay.
just to like halt your momentum right there, Baba. I do have to apologize for that, but you know, something that I mention a lot, especially whilst I'm casting with Foxy, is like we're a bit of a trio. You know, Foxy has his dad jokes, you have your bad jokes, and I have my sad jokes. All right, I'm out.
Wait, I thought I had reference jokes.
I think you yourself refer to them as bad jokes, Baba. Don't lie to me here. Come on.
Okay.
Aw.
Well, it is match point where XTM Riot will make their push in towards Fountain, and Status Gaming wants to continue their aggression, but MBK has something else to say. But unfortunately, the concussive needs will deal some major damage. X10 gets 2, Royce gets the other iron side, tries to make some moments, taking out lane jokes, putting it in a 4v2. A huge run-up from Royce to take out 4v1, make that 3v1. The SMG-11 comes in with the X10, taking out MBK. And with his Status Gaming, with the power of speed, they'll be able to win round 9 second floor AVG. Be able to take a look at it in the instant replay as well, and also 7-2 in the hands of Status Gaming. And they also changed the definition of how speed works.
Well, they will most certainly be accelerating towards a good position in this leaderboard. Who knows, their momentum might even go undisturbed, no speed bumps this season, at least for the remainder. But we will find out if that velocity remains. After all, it needs a bit of a direction to become momentum. So yeah, all in all, it's going to be all fun dandy for them if they continue this performance, if you will. And I know I said velocity needs momentum to become X, but it's actually speed that needs the direction to become velocity. I know. I intentionally messed that up. Yeah, I intentionally messed that up, actually. I kind of still remember that. Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
Oh boy.
Was it even
Mixing
that?
biology in physics.
We'll be going
Well,
into relive the moment to talk about the highs and lows of this match, ladies and gentlemen. I. Oh.
well, let's just head into relive the moment and talk about the fastness that both of these teams had to go through. Not quite sure why I said fastness, but yeah, the first half, a very good first half from, to be honest, very good first half from Status Gaming itself. A good amount of frags coming in from both MB, actually from Lame Jokes and Kuntal. Also, we did get to see some plays coming in from MBK as well in the first round. And also on round 5, we did get to see the attackers who were trying to go for who were trying to, try to pressure the pressure the defensive side. Unfortunately, it didn't work out quite well. And talking about relive the moment itself, it's more of a frag highlights for Statics Gaming playing, and also extend using the Jackal scans to give as much information as possible. Goes for that beautiful pre-fast to get those important kills. Most of the time, it was just 2 to 3 kills coming in from X10. Also, he was the one who should be in the top of the leaderboards as well. Not quite sure how much kills he had at that moment, but we did get to see Status Gaming being in the top of the game. Not quite sure the same thing can be said where they were going up against Kira Esports on map Theme Park, but it was a well attempt from them. Talking about XTM Riot, they still have a lot to focus on, especially when they have to go back to the drawing board, get to figure out what kind of mistakes that they were doing. Especially Statics Gaming, the way how they were playing is how aggressive they were. We didn't get to see some of the roamers. Actually, we did get to see MBK, who was roaming at that specific moment. But when he get to know that information on where exactly the attacker's location were, he was nearby towards the site. We didn't get to see him roaming. We didn't get to see him going for at least a, either a spawn peek or a run out. It was just a very heavily anchored hold from XTM Riot on defense, though. Talking about attack, the same thing cannot be said anything at all. We did get to see a total of 3 C4 plays in round 7, where the first C4 dealt some minor damage and the second C4 did claim them to win. And Lame Jokes doing what he does best with the P10 Ronin, gets some major damage as well. And also round 8, huge confusion from Yobo, and as we'll have to call it, confused screaming, where he was trying to get those pre-fires as best as possible. He did almost try to convert it into a 1v2 situation, but unfortunately, a lot of manpower, a lot of he had to deal with a total of 5 players in the hands of Statics Gaming, but unfortunately he could not get all of them. And yes, this was the final round where we did get to see the definition of speed. And that's all I can say. I mean, this match was entirely speed. Final frontier. That's all I can say. Speed.
I've been struggling to contain my laughter of all the references in the middle of while you were saying that, Baba, and we nearly returned to both of us losing it, rolling around, and as we started relive the moment. But we're gonna just hold it in for the time being. That has been it for ourselves, Blackjack and Baba Gusta, and of course our admin Eisen, as Division 2 will complete week 2 as of this match. 7-2 to Status Gaming. Fantastic performance from them. And we will be starting off Division 1 for week 2 tomorrow. That is over the course of the weekends, of course. Saturday and Sunday are going to be very exciting indeed. And of course, Sunday, ending off that day with the reveal of Year 6. It's going to be a fantastic weekend indeed, ladies and gentlemen. And we will see you there starting tomorrow with Division 1. Until then, stay tuned and good night.